Hey there, welcome to Position to Profit podcast. Thank you so much for being here. This is episode number 46. And today I'm doing a solo show. It's just me, flying solo. What I want to talk to you about today is something that I have seen rampant. It's happening over and over again, and it's causing frustration. So this has to do with marketing that is videos or whatever content you're putting out there. And one of the things that's happening is it's not connecting the dots for people. It's not moving the needle. It's not encouraging people to buy, and it's causing you frustration. And it's something as simple as inserting this one thing and you're going to get results probably. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'm excited about it. Here we go. Let's go. Hey there, I'm Patty Dominguez. You're about to discover what it means to position your brand and your business to stand out. This show explores the stories of small business owners just like you who are bringing their message out to the world and impacting their tribe. So if you want to take your business to a category of one status, then hang with me because this podcast shares everything you need to know about how to be more prolific with your brand so that you can have more profits. Well, hello there, friend. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Position to Profit. Today, I wanted to share something that I think is going to, I know is going to be valuable for you. And it has to do with a simple add-on to the marketing that you're doing. So I'm a coach in a couple of groups. So I have my own group that I coach. I do one-on-one individually. I also am a coach for another group that I'm in. So like anything else, once you start seeing things over and over again, it becomes a pattern, right? And you can start to identify it. You're like, okay, this is chronic. This is what's happening. And people are not even aware of it. And it has to do with the effort of you putting content out there. So one of the biggest hurdles for most people is that they're afraid to put content out there and saying, oh, I'm not comfortable on video. I don't feel good about putting myself out there. I'm afraid of judgment and that whole thing. And once people get beyond that, then I think the second hurdle that people go through is this problem of consistency. I mean, I've certainly experienced that myself where if I didn't have somewhat of a content calendar and a commitment to being consistent, and the one saying that a mentor of mine told me a while back, he said, nobody is ever consistent ever, and the people that are the ones that win. And that consistency is so key. And I say it over and over again, and I just can't say it enough. It's something that, as a reminder, I have seen with friends of mine who are massively successful. Yes, they're good people and they're smart and the whole thing, but the consistency is the thing that is the winner. So you have this thing, that first phase where you're like, oh, I'm afraid to put myself out there. The second phase is, I think the commitment of consistency is it's recognizing what it takes. And then the third part of this whole thing of putting yourself out there and putting content out. And so for this example, let's use you being on video, right? Most people, in the absence of having a real strategic direction, they're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. So getting coaching, right? Receiving coaching is going to offer you, with really good coaching, by the way, they'll give you guidance, a framework, a system to follow, right? A strategy behind the way that things are rolling out there so that you can have the highest probability of success. Okay, so that would be the first thing, is if you're putting content out there, make sure it's not just a random act of marketing. Ask yourself, is what I'm putting out there strategic? Is it moving the needle for me in my business? So with that in mind, ask yourself, is the content that you're putting out there converting? And this topic came up because some clients in the group that were asking questions around their content, and I've seen it with my one-on-one clients right at the beginning of me starting with them, is that they're being brave enough to put themselves out there. Okay, check. They're being consistent with it. Check. But the framework is slightly missing, right? It's not foolproof. And what I mean by foolproof is that you want to make sure that it's covering off on the essentials. So the first part of which, and here's where the gold is, right? The first part of which is you want to make sure that people know who you are and what you stand for, right? Who are you and why do you do what you do? Which if you don't have a good handle on that, if you have a miss in your positioning, well, that's where I can help you. That's where I can come in. I mean, this is what I do, right? So that's first and foremost. Who are you? What's your reason for being, right? Why do you do what you do? Now, the secondary part of it, keeping it super high level, is that you want to share with them the content they're going to share with them, right? Kind of putting in their framework. Now, what I see that is definitely missing in a lot of content is a call to action. And a call to action is basically, I'm sure you already know, what is the action that you want people to take? So it's not just putting content out there. Yes, of course, you can be talking about brand awareness, but what's the action you want people to take? What is it that you want them to do? Because if you don't tell people what to do, they're not going to do it because you're not asking them to move. So call to action is so essential. And so when you have a proper framework with your videos and the content that you're putting out there, it's like you're already putting out the effort. Why not close the loop by having that proper structure in place? So again, it's who are you? Why do you do what you do? So having a proper title, like a quick elevator pitch as you're starting out your videos, then going into your content, right? What is it that you're sharing in a really concise way? And you can share maybe 3 points, 2-3 points, keep it really high level. And I won't even go into the curse of knowledge, but make sure it's not too nerdy. So in other words, there's people out there who are just genius at what they do and they go into this super nerd talk. And what happens when you get nerdy, people shut down and they're like, yeah, I don't care that you're the smartest person in the room. So avoid that whole thing. Instead, infuse your content with stories because that's what's going to resonate with people. They'll remember the stories. And then intermittently, put in their call to action. Hey, by the way, if you need positioning help, I'm your go-to person, right? You can check me out at positioningtoprofit.com. You'll find out all about what I can do for you from a positioning standpoint, right? Make sure to go to positioningtoprofit.com. So again, inserting in there, and even at the end, of course, make sure that you're infusing that call to action again and say, hope you enjoyed this video. Now you know how to do XYZ. And just so you know, don't forget, if you are looking for expert positioning help, go to positioningprofit.com. Go ahead and click on the link below, and you may even hand signal, go to the link below and say it once, twice over again. I would say you want to at least infuse your content with 2 calls to actions within your video so that people know exactly the action that it is you want them to take. Trust me, it's easy. And what's really fascinating is, as simple as this is, for some of you, you're probably like, yeah, well, no duh, of course I have to do that. And other people, it may be a pulse check to say, you know what, I am not doing that. And what I found is probably the last 6 conversations that I've had about this, nobody has proper call to action. So check your content, make sure that you have proper calls to action in your videos and everything that you're doing, and ask yourself, what action do I want people to take? The other one that I saw is at the beginning, people are going into their content instead of stopping and remembering that you want to make sure that you have your just like short, concise elevator pitch, like who you help, right? Hey, I'm Patty Dominguez, a positioning expert. I help small business owners achieve category of 1 status through the power of prolific positioning. Bam. Similarly to that, make sure that you have your elevator pitch. Again, if you need help with that, definitely check out pattydominguez.com and I can help you with your positioning. So there you go. There you have it. I just wanted to share with you those little tidbits so that you're not forgetting to make sure to infuse your content with calls to action. Make sure that you're standing out, that you're claiming that thing that makes you different. Who are you and why you exist? And really, it's just a matter of connecting the dots. Again, don't over-intellectualize. Make sure that you are offering people value and positioning yourself as that go-to in your space. And once you have those elements, you will be able to see that people want to engage, and they're going to say, well, tell me more about that. And that's how you know, as I always say, that you hit the mark. When they ask you, well, can you tell me more about that? That's really interesting. And there you have it. It's just a conversation. So I hope this was really helpful. I wanted to make it a quickie and share. And I really recognize that sometimes the things that we think are so easy and that we're like, well, yeah, of course everybody knows that. sometimes it's so simple that we forget to do the fundamentals. And this is a fundamental. So I hope this is helpful. Now you know that you got to get your calls to action in there in your content, especially your videos. All right. So we'll see you next time. Thank you so much for checking out the Positioning to Profit podcast. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new episodes. And also, it would mean the world to me if you would take a quick moment to leave a rating and review on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or your favorite podcast player. It really helps to get the word out about the podcast and, of course, the featured guests. And lastly, please make sure to connect with me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. I'm on all of them, and use hashtag positioning to profit so that I can search you out and connect that way too. All right. Thanks so much. See you next time.